People have asked me, okay, so why would you get in the loudspeaker business? And we use the analogy, well, if Thomas Edison was to call you up and say, hey, you want to build light bulbs? You say yes. You know, you don't know squat about light bulbs, but by golly, that's Thomas Edison. Well, I didn't have Tom Edison. He's a little bit older than Tom Danley. So I had Tom come down, flew down from Chicago.
Yeah, I remember the first meeting. That was up in the second floor conference room, and I didn't know what to expect.
I don't think anybody did.
Yeah.
Mike and I are both musicians, me in a previous life, but Mike still currently, and we're both classically trained and raised. We know what stuff is supposed to sound like, and having that upbringing, that's the goal, is to be as natural as possible. And when stuff's not natural, yeah, it may get loud, it may rock and roll, whatever, but if it doesn't sound good, then what's the point?
Tom's gone back to Chicago area, and I've got to wrestle with the idea of, or am I going to start a company? And as an owner of a fairly prominent contracting company, there's a lot of battles that goes on, because, I mean, honestly, I'm thinking, okay, so if I start this manufacturing company, what happens to the contracting company? I mean, will it keep going? How am I going to pay for all of it? That's a big one. There's all these battles, and yet I really felt a calling. I felt like this is what I was supposed to do.
Well, Mike came to me and said he had been talking to Tom about actually manufacturing Tom's cabinets. Initially, my thought was, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, because neither one of us were into manufacturing. It was a whole new area. Me, on a personal level, the idea of getting to work with Tom was ecstatic. I mean, it was fantastic, but I don't want to let that overshadow the practical side of running a business and stuff.
Ivan and I go to the first trade show. We're walking around with flyers. We've got
three or
four products,
yeah,
at the most. And we're just talking it up, and every person that I'm meeting from SynodCon buddies or whatever, they're all like, you're doing what? You're starting a manufacturing company. Yeah, everybody thought we were crazy. I mean, let's face it, I mean, everybody thought we were nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when we went to the Vegas show, where we had a little bitty room, demo room, and it's my kids, my wife, and Ivan. That's the whole crew.
That's it.
And we had to be, you know, 2 time zones away from each other, because the demo room was way over there and the show floor was way over here. That's what got us, ultimately, that's what got us Cirque du Soleil. One of the guys from Lucasfilm said, I actually mastered the video you just played, and I'm hearing stuff that we missed. We're in Vegas. I'd asked permission, could we play off the back dock, the J1? And our reps had talked it up a little bit, and everybody wanted to see the, you know, kind of cool thing. So we wheel it out there. Weren't we using a couple of courtesy outlets?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I didn't know if it was 1 or 2 15-amp circuits, so we were trying to be careful. But that's all we had.
We got people standing out there, you know, 400, 500, 600 feet away from us, and then all of a sudden, a guy comes running out of the side of a guy in a suit with a tie. Turn it off. And they'd gotten a noise ordinance complaint from way behind us there, and but out of that one demo, which lasted maybe what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
Out of that one demo, we got our first stadium. She introduced us to Charlie, who was the AV tech at BYU, and Charlie said, I don't care what it costs, I just need to know I got to have that in my stadium come August.
Yeah.
And this was late June.
This was late June, and it's got to be in the stadium in August. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, we think we can do that.
One of the things that I'm really proud of, how instead of being a marketing-based company, the big, most visible jobs we've had have been mostly from people listening to the stuff and not from having big ads in every issue of every magazine. It's been, I guess you'd say, the honest way of having people say, hey, that's what I want.
To me, that's ultimately what Danley is, and it's taking care of the customer. It's doing right by the customer, and the customer is not only the people that are buying it; it's the end user. I've been working with Mike for a long time, a couple decades, and stewardship has always been a big deal. Not well, what can you take from them? Well, hey, look at that! Look what I sold these guys, and I made all this profit. It's about doing right by the customer, and we do that in more times than you can imagine.
Where are we going in the next 10 years? That's going to be exciting. It's been exciting so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we're on a rocket ship.
Yeah, strap in, because it's going to be an interesting ride.
And it won't be your first rocket ship, but it'll be mine.